In this episode, we'll talk about how to think smart. That means organizing your thoughts, focusing on clarity, and building a strong foundation in your mind so that you can speak fluent English confidently and naturally.
Exactly. Plus, we'll share some practical tips and strategies that you can start using today. So, whether you're a beginner or someone looking to take your fluency to the next level, stay with us till the end.
And don't forget, we want to hear from you. As you listen, feel free to drop your thoughts or questions in the comments below. We'll be happy to answer them in our future episodes.
All right, Jason, let's get started. I can't wait to discuss how thinking smart can transform the way we speak English fluently.
Let's do it! First, let's talk about the connection between thinking and speaking in English. Now, let's dive into the connection between thinking and speaking in English. Julia, have you ever noticed how smoothly people speak when their thoughts are clear?
Absolutely, Jason. That's because speaking fluently isn't just about the words. It's about how we organize and express our thoughts. If your mind is cluttered or you're overthinking, it can make speaking much harder.
Exactly. Think of your brain like a highway. When your thoughts are organized, the words flow smoothly, like cars driving without traffic. But if you're scrambling to translate or second-guess yourself, it's like a traffic jam in your mind.
That's such a great analogy. And you know what? Many English learners struggle because they try to think in their native language first, then translate into English. That extra step often slows them down or creates awkward sentences.
Yes, that's a common challenge. When you think in your native language, it's like building a bridge every time you want to speak. Instead, what we want is to train our brains to think directly in English.
Exactly. And when you start thinking in English, your responses become faster and more natural. You're not worrying about grammar rules or translation. You're just speaking.
So, Julia, what would you say are the main benefits of thinking directly in English?
Good question, Jason. First, it saves time because you skip the translation process. Second, it helps you focus on the flow of your conversation rather than overanalyzing every word. And third, it builds confidence because you feel more connected to the language.
Great points. And let's not forget, it also improves your fluency over time. When you think in English, you naturally build stronger connections between words and ideas, which helps you express yourself more effectively.
That's right. And thinking in English doesn't mean you need to be perfect. It's okay to start simple, like naming objects around you in English or describing what you're doing throughout the day.
Yes, starting small is key. And as you practice, you'll notice that your brain begins to process thoughts in English more naturally.
So, to sum up this segment, the clearer and more organized your thoughts are, the easier it will be to speak fluently. And one of the best ways to do that is to train yourself to think in English.
That's a great takeaway, Julia. Up next, we're going to share some practical tips on how you can start thinking smart in English today. Welcome back. Now that we understand the connection between thinking and speaking, let's get into some practical tips for thinking smart in English. Julia, where do you think learners should begin?
Great question, Jason. The first step is to start thinking in simple English. Many learners feel overwhelmed because they try to construct complex sentences in their minds. Instead, focus on small, manageable thoughts. For example, if you're looking at a cup of coffee, think, "This is coffee. It's hot. I like coffee."
That's a fantastic point, Julia. Keeping it simple not only makes it easier to think in English, but also helps you build confidence. And speaking of building, another tip is to associate words with visuals or feelings.
Oh, that's a good one. Can you explain more, Jason?
Of course. Let's say you're learning the word happy. Instead of just memorizing the word, picture a moment when you felt happy, like getting a gift or spending time with family. This mental association makes the word more memorable and meaningful.
I love that. It's like creating a personal connection with the language. And here's another tip. Try to narrate your day in English. For instance, if you're brushing your teeth, think, I'm brushing my teeth. The toothpaste is minty. It's a simple way to practice thinking in English during everyday activities.
Absolutely, Julia. Another effective technique is mindful listening. Pay close attention to how native speakers or fluent speakers form sentences. Notice their choice of words, their tone, and how they pause naturally.
Yes, and when you're listening, don't just passively absorb the information. Repeat what you hear. Mimic the sentences in your head or say them out loud. It's like a mini conversation practice.
That's such a valuable tip. And here's one of my favorites. Ask yourself questions in English. For example, what do I need to do today? Or, what did I enjoy about my day? Answering these questions trains your brain to think and respond in English.
I agree, Jason. And one last tip. Practice with purpose. Choose a specific topic or goal for the day. For example, decide, today, I'll focus on describing people. Then, spend the day thinking and forming sentences about people you see or know.
That's excellent advice, Julia. When you have a clear focus, it helps your brain stay organized, which is exactly what thinking smart is all about.
So, to sum up, start with simple thoughts, make connections with visuals or emotions, narrate your day, listen actively, ask yourself questions, and practice with purpose. These small steps will make a big difference in how you think in English.
Perfectly said, Julia. Now that we've covered thinking smart, let's move to the next step. Strategies for speaking fluently. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Now that we've talked about thinking smart, it's time to discuss strategies for speaking fluently. Julia, when it comes to fluency, what's one common misconception that learners have?
Great question, Jason. I think many learners believe that speaking fluently means speaking fast. But in reality, fluency is more about speaking clearly and naturally, even if you're not speaking quickly.
Exactly. Fluency is about smoothness and confidence, not speed. And one of the best ways to achieve that is by focusing on natural pauses in your speech. Instead of rushing, take short pauses to organize your thoughts.
That's a great point, Jason. Pausing naturally not only gives you time to think, but also makes your speech easier to understand for others. Another important strategy is to stop translating in your head.
Yes, translating can slow you down and lead to awkward sentences. Instead, try to think in English, as we discussed earlier. And if you don't know a word, don't panic. Use simple words or gestures to explain your idea.
That's so true. And speaking of simplicity, one tip I always recommend is to start with basic sentences. For example, instead of saying, I'm absolutely thrilled to see you, you can say, I'm happy to see you. Once you're comfortable, you can gradually add more advanced expressions.
I love that, Julia. Building fluency is like building a house. You start with a strong foundation and then add layers over time. Another tip is to practice speaking every day, even if it's just for a few minutes.
Exactly, Jason. And if you don't have a partner, you can talk to yourself. Describe what you're doing, share your thoughts, or even read something aloud. It might feel silly at first, but it's an excellent way to improve.
And don't forget about shadowing, Julia. This is when you listen to someone speak and try to copy their words, tone, and rhythm immediately after. It's a fantastic way to train your brain and mouth to work together.
That's a powerful technique, Jason. Another thing learners should do is embrace mistakes. Making mistakes is a natural part of learning. Instead of feeling embarrassed, treat every mistake as a chance to learn and improve.
Absolutely. And here's another practical tip. Record yourself speaking. When you listen to your own voice, you'll notice areas where you can improve, like pronunciation or pacing.
Yes, Jason, and it also helps you track your progress over time. Lastly, remember to celebrate small wins. Whether it's saying a new phrase correctly or having a short conversation in English, every step forward is worth celebrating.
Well said, Julia. Fluency is a journey, not a destination. To recap, pause naturally, stop translating, start with simple sentences, practice daily, use shadowing, embrace mistakes, record yourself, and celebrate your progress.
That's a great summary, Jason. Coming up, we'll give you a fun activity to put these strategies into practice. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. Now that we've covered strategies for thinking smart and speaking fluently, let's put it all into action with a fun challenge. Julia, are you ready?
I'm ready, Jason, and I hope our listeners are too. This activity is designed to help you practice both thinking and speaking in English.
Here's how it works. First, choose a simple topic you can talk about, like your daily routine, your favorite food, or a recent movie you watched. Got it?
Great. Now, set a timer for 1 minute. Your goal is to speak in English about your chosen topic for the entire minute without stopping. Don't worry about making mistakes. Just keep talking.
Exactly. If you get stuck, don't stop. Instead, use fillers like, let me think, or repeat your last sentence until a new idea comes to mind.
And here's a pro tip. Start with simple sentences. For example, if your topic is your daily routine, you can say, I wake up at 7 a.m., I brush my teeth, I eat breakfast, I go to work. Once you're comfortable, you can add more details.
Yes, and if you're up for a challenge, try to record yourself while speaking. Afterward, listen to your recording and note areas where you can improve, like pronunciation, pacing, or sentence structure.
That's such a valuable exercise, Jason, and don't forget to celebrate your effort. Even if it feels challenging, completing this activity is a big step toward fluency.
Absolutely, Julia. So, listeners, your challenge today is to pick a topic, set a timer, and speak for 1 minute in English. And remember, progress is more important than perfection.
We'd love to hear how it went. Feel free to share your experience in the comments or even upload a short video of your practice.
That's a great idea, Julia. Keep practicing, stay confident, and remember, you're closer to fluency than you think. Stay with us for the final takeaway and a motivational message. Don't go anywhere. And that brings us to the end of today's episode, Think Smart, Speak Fluent. We hope you found these tips and strategies helpful. Remember, fluency doesn't happen overnight. It's all about consistent practice and having the right mindset.
Absolutely, Jason. Whether it's thinking in simple English, practicing daily, or embracing mistakes, every small effort adds up. You're building a skill that will open doors to new opportunities and connections.
And we're here to support you every step of the way. If you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Easy English Talk, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode.
Also, share this podcast with your friends or anyone who's learning English. Let's create a community of learners who inspire and support each other.
And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, leave a comment below. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you for spending your time with us today. Keep practicing, stay confident, and remember, you're closer to fluency than you think.
Why is thinking in English so important for learners?
Great question, Jason. The truth is, if you always think in your native language first and then translate, you'll never be able to speak fluently.
Exactly. It creates a delay, right? Your brain is working twice as hard. First, it forms a sentence in your native language, then it tries to find the right English words.
And sometimes the translation doesn't even make sense.
Oh, absolutely. Like if someone translates "I am cold" word for word from another language, they might say, "I have cold," which sounds unnatural in English.
Right, and that's why thinking in English helps so much. It trains your brain to form sentences the way native speakers do without getting stuck on translation.
And let's talk about confidence. When you start thinking in English, you feel more confident because words come to you faster.
Yes, no more pausing for long seconds to translate in your head. You'll respond naturally and smoothly.
Another big reason? It improves your listening skills. If you think in English, your brain processes English conversations faster, so you understand people better.
That's so true, and not just in conversations. Even when you're watching movies or listening to music, you start recognizing words instantly instead of translating everything.
And Julia, let's not forget that thinking in English also helps with pronunciation.
Good point, because when you think in English, you start hearing the sounds in your head the way native speakers say them, which helps with speaking clearly.
So, just to summarize, thinking in English helps you speak faster, boosts your confidence, improves your listening skills, and even makes your pronunciation better.
And now you might be wondering, okay, I get why it's important, but how do I actually train my brain to think in English?
Don't worry, we're going to break it down step by step. But before that, let's talk about some common mistakes that stop people from thinking in English. Now that we understand why thinking in English is so important, let's talk about something that holds people back. Common mistakes that stop learners from training their brain to think in English.
Yes, many learners don't even realize they're making these mistakes. But once you fix them, you'll notice a big improvement in your fluency.
All right. Mistake number 1. The biggest one, relying too much on translation. If you always translate in your head before speaking, your brain never gets used to thinking in English directly.
Exactly. It's like riding a bike with training wheels forever. You need to trust your brain to form sentences naturally instead of always looking for the right translation.
And Julia, another common mistake, focusing too much on grammar while thinking. A lot of learners try to make every sentence perfect in their mind before speaking, but that actually slows them down.
Oh yes, grammar is important, but if you keep stopping to check every little rule, you'll never speak naturally. Native speakers don't think about grammar rules while talking, right?
Exactly! They just speak. And guess what? Even native speakers make grammar mistakes sometimes.
That's so true. Okay, mistake number 3, fear of making mistakes. Some people are so afraid of saying something wrong that they stop themselves from thinking or speaking in English at all.
Right? But making mistakes is how we learn. The more you practice thinking in English, the better you'll get. Don't be afraid to sound imperfect. Fluency comes with practice, not perfection.
Absolutely. And another mistake that blocks thinking in English? Not surrounding yourself with English. If your daily life is full of your native language, your brain will naturally default to that language instead of English.
Great point. If you only use English in a classroom or for studying, but not in daily life, your brain won't switch to English naturally.
And that's why immersion is so important. Things like listening to English music, watching English videos, and reading in English.
Exactly. Okay, let's quickly recap. The biggest mistakes that stop you from thinking in English are 1. Relying too much on translation. 2. Overthinking grammar while forming sentences. 3. Fear of making mistakes. 4. Not surrounding yourself with enough English.
If you're making any of these mistakes, don't worry. The good news is we're going to show you how to fix them.
Yes! Up next, we'll share some powerful step-by-step strategies to help you start thinking in English naturally. All right, Julia. Now it's time for the most important part. How can learners actually train their brain to think in English?
Yes, we're going to break it down into simple, powerful steps that anyone can follow.
Perfect. Let's start with step 1. Name things around you in English.
Oh, I love this one. It's such an easy habit to build. Just look around you and say the names of objects in English. For example, if you're in your room, think bed, window, lamp, phone.
Exactly. And to take it further, you can describe what's happening. Like, instead of just thinking cup, you can think, I am drinking coffee from my cup.
Yes, this helps your brain connect everyday life with English, making it more natural over time.
All right. Step 2. Talk to yourself in English. It might feel strange at first, but it's one of the best ways to start thinking in English.
Yes, you can do this anywhere, when you're cooking, getting dressed, or walking outside. Just describe what you're doing in simple English, like, I'm putting on my shoes. It's a sunny day.
And the great thing is, there's no pressure, because you're just talking to yourself.
Exactly. And if you're worried about making mistakes, don't be. No one is listening. It's just you training your brain to use English naturally.
Great! Now, step 3, use an English-to-English dictionary.
Oh, this is a game changer. Many learners still use dictionaries that translate words into their native language. But switching to an English-to-English dictionary helps you think in English instead of translating.
Right. For example, if you don't know the word excited, instead of translating it to your native language, look it up in an English dictionary where it says, feeling very happy and eager. That way, your brain connects words in English, not another language.
Exactly, and it improves your vocabulary naturally.
All right, next step 4, think in simple sentences first.
Yes, many learners try to think in complex sentences too soon, and that makes them feel stuck. Instead, start with short, simple thoughts.
Like instead of thinking, I should go to the store because I need to buy some vegetables for dinner, just start with, I need vegetables.
Yes, once you get comfortable, your sentences will naturally get longer over time.
All right, let's move on to step 5. Have an English inner voice.
Oh, I love this one. Instead of thinking in your native language, try to have a little conversation in English in your head. For example, if you're planning your day, think, what should I do first? Maybe I'll start with breakfast.
Yes, this is like turning your thoughts into an English dialogue. It's one of the fastest ways to start thinking in English without effort.
And you can even ask yourself questions in English, like, how do I feel today? Or what should I wear?
That's a great habit. And finally, step 6, surround yourself with English.
Yes, the more you expose yourself to English, the more natural it becomes. Listen to English podcasts, watch English videos, and read books or articles in English.
That's right. The more English you hear, the more your brain starts thinking in English automatically.
So let's quickly recap the 6 steps to train your brain to think in English. 1. Name things around you in English. 2. Talk to yourself in English. 3. Use an English-to-English dictionary. Think in simple sentences first. 5. Have an English inner voice. Surround yourself with English.
These steps will help you stop translating and start thinking in English naturally.
Yes, and the best part? You can start practicing these today.
Up next, we'll talk about daily exercises you can do to make thinking in English a permanent habit. All right, Julia, we've talked about strategies to start thinking in English. But now, let's take it one step further. How can learners practice this every day and make it a habit?
Yes, because just knowing the techniques isn't enough. You need to practice consistently to train your brain to think in English naturally.
Exactly. So, let's share some simple daily exercises that will help learners develop this skill. First, start and end your day with English thoughts. The moment you wake up, try to describe your plans for the day in English.
Yes, instead of thinking in your native language, say in your mind, "Today is Monday. I have a meeting at 10 a.m. I will have lunch with my friend."
And at night, do the same. Review your day in English before sleeping. Think, what did I do today? Did I enjoy it?
This helps your brain switch to English mode at the beginning and end of the day.
The second daily practice, set a no translation rule for at least 30 minutes a day.
Oh, I love this one. For those 30 minutes, challenge yourself to only think in English. No translating allowed.
Yes, it might be difficult at first, but even if you struggle, just try. The more you practice, the easier it gets.
Next, try to talk to yourself in English out loud for a few minutes every day.
Right. Just like we mentioned earlier, describe what you're doing. You can say, I'm making tea. It smells so good. I will drink it while reading a book.
The key is to make English part of your daily routine, even if no one is around to listen.
Another great way to practice? Use English while doing simple activities like cooking, driving, or exercising.
Yes. Instead of letting your mind wander, focus on thinking in English. If you're going for a walk, you can think, "The weather is nice today. The sky is blue. I feel relaxed."
And finally, keep a simple English journal. Write down your thoughts, what happened during your day, or even your goals in English.
This is a great way to track your progress, and don't worry about grammar. Just focus on expressing yourself in English.
All right, let's quickly summarize these daily exercises. 1. Start and end your day in English. Set a no translation rule for at least 30 minutes a day. 3. Talk to yourself aloud in English. Use English during simple activities. Keep an English journal.
If you do these small exercises every day, thinking in English will become automatic over time.
That's right. Up next, we'll talk about how to stay motivated and consistent in your English thinking practice. All right, Julia. We've talked about how to practice thinking in English every day. But let's be honest, learners will face challenges along the way.
Absolutely. It's normal to struggle, but the key is to overcome these challenges instead of giving up.
So, let's go over 3 common challenges and how to solve them. One of the biggest struggles is that learners naturally think in their native language first. Then, they try to translate into English.
Yes, and that slows everything down. The solution? Be patient and practice small English thoughts first. Instead of full sentences, start with just words or phrases.
Right. And using an English-to-English dictionary instead of translating words can also help your brain stay in English mode.
Another challenge is feeling stuck because you don't know the right words. This can be frustrating.
It happens to everyone. But instead of stopping, try to describe the word with simple English. For example, if you forget the word refrigerator, you can think a cold box where I keep food.
That's a great tip. The goal is to keep thinking in English even when you don't know every word.
Now, this one is tough. Many learners feel like they're not making progress and they lose motivation.
Yes, but the truth is, progress is slow and you might not notice it right away. The best solution? Track your progress.
Exactly. Keep a small journal, record your voice, or even talk to yourself in front of a mirror. A few weeks later, you'll see the difference.
The most important thing is to stay patient and keep going. Thinking in English is a skill, and like any skill, it takes time.
That's right. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Just keep practicing. And soon, English thinking will feel natural. Wow, Julia! We've covered so many great strategies today. Thinking in English is a journey, but with the right mindset and daily practice, anyone can do it.
Absolutely. Remember, start small, be consistent, and don't be afraid of making mistakes. The more you practice, the easier it will become.
Now, to all our listeners, what's one tip from today's episode that you're going to try first? Let us know in the comments or share your experience with us.
And if you found this episode helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our podcast for more English learning tips.
Keep practicing, keep thinking in English, and we'll see you in the next episode. Until then, happy learning.